The first time Elias Var noticed her, she was staring at the stars like she hated them. That was unusual. Most beings who came through Orion Station Theta 9 reacted the same way. Awe, curiosity, sometimes quiet reverence. The observation deck stretched in a wide arc of transparent alloy, offering an uninterrupted view of the nebula beyond, a living storm of violet and gold that pulsed like a cosmic heartbeat. But she didn't look inspired. She looked angry. Elias leaned against the bulkhead, wiping grease from his hands with a stained cloth. He'd just come off a 12-hour maintenance shift in the station's lower rings. Hydraulics were acting up again, and if they failed, half the docking ports would lock. He should have gone to sleep. Instead, he watched her. She sat alone in a grav-stabilized chair, sleek, advanced, clearly not of human make. Its base hovered a few centimeters above the deck, humming faintly. Her body was tall, slender, with skin like pale silver threaded with faint bioluminescent veins. Her hair, if it could be called that, flowed like fine strands of glass, shifting colors with the ambient light. But it was her legs that caught his attention. Or rather, the way she didn't use them. They lay motionless, perfectly still, as though they belonged to someone else. Elias frowned. He'd seen injuries before. War, accidents, failed experiments. This station got all kinds. But there was something different here. This wasn't fresh damage. This was old. Permanent. And she was alone. That part bothered him more. He hesitated. Then, because he was human, and humans had a reputation for sticking their noses where they didn't belong, he walked over. "Nice view," he said casually, stopping a respectful distance away. She didn't look at him. "I've seen better." Her voice was smooth, almost musical, but edged with something sharp. Elias chuckled. Tough crowd. Silence stretched between them. Most people would have left. Elias didn't. "I'm Elias," he added, jerking a thumb toward himself. "Station engineer. Fix things that break. Occasionally break things that shouldn't be fixed." That got the faintest reaction, a flicker of her eyes. "Lyris," she said after a moment. He nodded. "Nice to meet you, Lyris." Another pause. Then, without looking at him, she asked, "Do humans always talk this much to strangers?" "Only when they're trying not to think about how tired they are." That earned him the smallest, almost invisible curve at the corner of her mouth. Progress. A broken system. Over the next few days, Elias kept seeing her. Same place. Same chair. Same distant stare. She never moved from it. Eventually, curiosity got the better of him. "All right," he said one evening, dropping into a seat nearby. "I'm gonna ask. You can tell me to get lost if you want." She sighed softly. "You're going to ask anyway." "Yeah." "Then ask." He gestured toward her legs. "What happened?" For a long moment, she said nothing. Elias thought he'd pushed too far. Then, "A war," she said quietly. That explained a lot. "I was a pilot," she continued. "High command. Elite unit." Her voice didn't carry pride, only something hollow. "We were winning until we weren't." Elias stayed silent. "The enemy deployed a neural disruptor," she said. "It didn't kill. It severed control. Entire fleets went dead mid-flight." He winced. "Rough." "I survived," she said. "Barely." Her glowing veins dimmed slightly. "My ship crashed. My crew didn't." Elias swallowed. "And your legs?" "The disruptor burned out my lower neural pathways." She tapped her thigh lightly. "No signal. No movement. No repair." "Nothing's unrepairable," Elias said automatically. She turned to him then, eyes sharp. "You think we didn't try?" He held her gaze. "I think," he said slowly, "that maybe you didn't have a human engineer." She stared at him, then laughed. Not kindly. You're arrogant. Yeah, he admitted. But I'm also good. The impossible problem. The next day, Elias requested access to her medical scans. He expected resistance. Instead, Lyris granted it. Prove it, she said. He spent hours in the diagnostics bay, studying her condition. It was worse than he'd imagined. Her species' nervous system wasn't just biological, it was partially quantum-linked, operating on both physical and subspace levels. The disruptor hadn't just damaged nerves, it had shattered the connection between her brain and her lower body across multiple layers of reality. Human medicine couldn't fix it. Alien medicine couldn't fix it. It was, by all known standards, impossible. Elias grinned. Good, he muttered. I was getting bored. Trial and failure. The first prototype failed. Badly. Lyris didn't scream, but her grip crushed the armrest as the experimental interface sparked and died. Elias yanked the power core free. Okay, that one's on me. You think, she hissed, breathing hard. Hey, if it worked the first time, it wouldn't be science. He glared at him. Then, after a moment, she exhaled. You're insane. Certified, he said. Station even gave me a badge. Despite herself, she huffed a faint laugh. The second prototype lasted longer. It created a weak signal, just enough to register movement. Her foot twitched. Barely a centimeter. Lyris froze. Elias stared. Did you? I felt that, she whispered. Hope flickered. Then the system overloaded. The connection snapped. And her leg went still again. This time she didn't get angry. She just looked tired. Enough, she said quietly. You've proven your point. Elias shook his head. No. I've proven it's possible. Possible isn't enough. It is for humans. She studied him. Why are you doing this? She asked. Elias hesitated, then shrugged. Because you looked at the stars like you hated them, he said. And that didn't sit right with me. Something in her expression shifted. The breakthrough, the third design, took weeks. Elias barely slept. He stopped taking other assignments. His workshop became a mess of alien components, human tools, and half-burned circuits. People started talking. Varn's chasing ghosts, they said. He's gonna fry that alien. He's wasting time. Elias ignored them, because he'd seen that twitch. And once a human sees a possibility, it's over. The breakthrough came at 3:17 station time. Elias slumped over his console, staring at a hybrid neural bridge, a device that combined human adaptive circuitry with alien quantum resonance nodes. It was ridiculous, unstable, probably dangerous. Perfect. The final attempt, Lyris arrived without being called. She looked at the device, then at him. This is the one, she said. Elias nodded. No guarantees. There never were. He helped position the interface along her spine, aligning it with her damaged pathways. Ready? He asked. She closed her eyes. Yes. He activated the system. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the device hummed. Light rippled through her veins. Her body tensed. Easy, Elias murmured. I feel something, she said, voice shaking. The signal strengthened. The connection formed. Try, he said. She focused. Slowly. Her foot moved. Not a twitch. A movement. Real. Controlled. Lyris gasped. It's working. Then alarms blared. Stability failure, Elias muttered. Hold on. The system wasn't designed to sustain full load. The energy spike was too high. It's collapsing, he shouted. Don't shut it down, she cried. It'll burn you out. I don't care. Elias hesitated. In that moment, he saw it, not desperation. Determination. The same stubborn, reckless refusal to quit that defined humanity. He grinned. All right, he said. Let's break some rules. Human persistence, instead of shutting it down, Elias rerouted power, overloaded the safety limits, pushed the system beyond anything it was meant to handle. The device screamed under the strain, but the connection held. Now, Lyris, he yelled. She focused with everything she had. Her legs trembled. Then they moved. Both of them. She lifted herself from the chair. For the first time in years, she stood. The room went silent. Lyris stared down at her legs, shaking. I'm standing. Elias laughed, breathless.
Yeah.
You are. She took a step, unsteady, then another. Tears, actual tears, slid down her glowing skin. I can feel it, she whispered. The floor, the air, everything. The system sparked violently. Okay, that's our cue, Elias said. Sit down before it explodes. She laughed, an unrestrained, joyous sound, and eased back into the chair. Elias killed the power. The device went dark. Smoke curled from its casing. But it had worked. The aftermath, the station erupted with news. Human engineer restores alien mobility. Impossible condition reversed. New frontier in bioneural integration. Officials came. Scientists came. Military representatives came. They all wanted the same thing. The technology. The method. The secret. Elias refused them all. It's not ready, he said. And it's not yours. Lyris stood beside him, on her own 2 feet. That alone was answer enough. A new path. Days later, they returned to the observation deck. This time, Lyris didn't sit. She stood at the edge of the transparent barrier, looking out at the nebula. Elias leaned beside her.
So, he said.
Still hate the stars? She smiled softly.
No, she said.
I was just angry I couldn't reach them anymore. He nodded. Understandable. She glanced at him. You gave that back to me, she said. Elias shook his head. You took it back. I just built the ladder. She considered that. Then slowly she stepped forward just a little, testing her balance. Each movement was careful, deliberate but stronger than before. You know, she said, my people believed your kind was reckless, primitive, dangerous. Hey, we prefer creatively insane. She laughed. Yes, she said. That sounds more accurate. The ending, a transport ship waited at the docking bay. Lyris stood at the ramp, her posture tall, her movements steady. Not perfect.
Not yet.
But real. Elias stood a few steps back, arms crossed.
So, he said.
Back to saving the galaxy? She turned to him. Something like that. A pause. Then, come with me. Elias blinked.
What?
You see solutions others don't, she said. My people need that. I need that. He hesitated. For a moment, the weight of it settled in. A chance to leave, to explore, to matter on a scale far beyond the station.
He grinned.
Do I get my own workshop? She smiled. The best we have. Then yeah, he said. I'm in. As the ship lifted from Orion Station, Lyris stood at the viewport, on her own 2 legs, watching the stars stretch into lines of light. Elias stood beside her, already sketching ideas for version 2 of the neural bridge. Next time, he said, we make it stable. She glanced at him. And after that? He smiled. After that, we fix everything else. Lyris looked back at the stars. This time, she didn't hate them.